everybody. Sports Media's Mike Greenlee here, and I'm sitting down with former Titan All-American right-hander and current Nebraska Cornhusker pitching coach, Ted Silva. Teddy, good to see you.
Thank you.
It's got to feel great being back in Southern California again. I looked earlier, and it seemed to be quite a change in the weather for you. Lincoln's today high
You better
today is
believe it.
about 50 degrees, and it looks like rain and snow in the forecast.
High 50? We need to get home then. I mean, that's hot. Yeah, it's great. The weather being, 70 degrees out here. We're pretty spoiled. My tan's coming back, and I'm feeling good.
Let's go back to the beginning, at least of your Titan career here, and talk a little bit. Your junior and senior year was played at Redondo Union High School in Redondo Beach. How did your journey to become a Titan begin? What other schools were in the mix? Who came out and recruited you? Those kind of questions.
Well, it was late. It was after my senior year. Not much attention during the season. My goal was to play either basketball and baseball at El Camino Junior College, and again, there was no real dream of Division I or anything beyond high school other than, at the time, junior college. The local schools started coming in right at the end of my senior year. And at the time when I chose Fullerton, it came down to, there were the locals with UCLA, USC, Cal State LA was in there. I believe Pepperdine. So some of the schools came in late and decided Fullerton was the best, spot for me.
Well, you came in 1993, and the Titans were just coming off a heartbreaking loss to Pepperdine in the national championship game in '92. Talk about the atmosphere at Cal State Fullerton at that time, and you came right from high school and got thrown right in the mix as a freshman.
Yeah, again, not knowing what to expect, just wanting to be a part of the team and wanting to travel was one of my biggest goals coming in as a freshman. And again, you don't know exactly what role you're going to be in, so it was, let me just get on the road and see what it's all about. And fortunate enough to get the opportunity early in the season. And I can tell you right now, my first outing, I'm surprised I got the ball 2 days later.
No doubt a starter in high school, but you worked solely out of the bullpen your first 2 seasons as a Titan. And for the time, 20 saves over 2 seasons was pretty darn good. Did you like working out of the bullpen?
I didn't know any better. And they gave me the ball when I got the ball, and they told me when to throw. So that's all I knew. And whether it was out of the pen or starting, I didn't know any better other than I just want the baseball and throw me in the game, please.
And then there was the special season in 1995. The Titans win the national championship. They go 57-9. You guys win your last 18 games, go undefeated in the postseason, yada, yada, yada. Talk about that team a little bit. What made that team so special? What made them accomplish all that they did?
I think it all begins here on the practice field. I mean, from day one, everything's earned around here. From my freshman year to my junior year, it was all about the team. It wasn't about individual goals. That's one thing Augie and the coaching staff always stressed, is about being unselfish. And it was more than just on the field. I mean, we got along. It was a great atmosphere from the time I stepped on campus. I was taken in by some of the older guys. And I was lucky, very lucky, but that's created through the coaching staff, and it was trickle-down effect. Everybody treated each other fairly and right, and so it just carried over into our junior year. And coming off our '94 season, my sophomore year, we lost a lot, but all we knew is how to play the game, play it one way, and we loved each other.
Now talk about your Omaha experience. What are your fondest memories of Omaha? And you made 2 trips, right?
Made 2 trips, good and bad. The first one, probably never wanted to go back to Omaha. I was in relief when we got bounced out in '94. Gave up a home run in the 11th inning in the semifinal game to get us to the finals to Nomar Garcia Parra. We lost the game 3-2, and I was a losing pitcher in the last day. So didn't sit very well, and it was easy to say that I was pretty miserable at the time, not knowing what was ahead of us. So yeah, it was pretty unfortunate, but coming back in '95, again, the season we had, there were no expectations, and we kind of ran with it and had a lot of fun doing it.
Now there was a lot of focus that year on Mark Kotze and all his heroics, but man, you had quite a season. 18-1, 2.83 ERA on the mound, and oh yeah, let's not forget 7 saves. You don't ever let the youngsters forget that stuff. Did you change anything from your sophomore year to your junior year in terms of your workout regimen, your throwing style, any of that stuff?
Workout regimen. No, everything's created here, and it's all about working hard, right? Each and every day you step on the field, if you want that ball again or you want to play. There's no days off, whether it was in practice or off season. or you want to take a weekend off during the season, you may never see the ball again. So I didn't know it was going to be a close start type of situation. They just felt like I could do it. I felt like, again, what pitcher doesn't want the ball every single day, no matter how you feel? The fact that I got the chance at times to pitch twice on a weekend was pretty special. And like I said earlier, it was all about just getting the baseball and being in the game.
That 18-1 is pretty incredible, just that number alone, but especially given the bats back then. Is that possible? Is that kind of performance possible today, even?
The rocket launchers back then, the -5s, that was unbelievable. Geez, I could probably get a single, which I did. I got one hit in my career. Again, you don't think about that at the time, or you don't try to compare it now, whether it was back then or now. It's still baseball. Can it be done? Sure. Why couldn't it be? Every record's meant to be broken. Everybody's going to have a special year somewhere. So would I ever be surprised if it was broken or somebody had a better year? No, not at all. I mean, this game, every day you see something different, so I'm not going to be surprised at all.
Let's go back to April 24th, 1995. Here in Fullerton, Pacific's in town, and your slider was pretty much on fire that day. Threw 91 pitches and became the first Titan to throw a 9-inning no-hitter. Talk about your memories from that day. I know Coach Horton said that you only shook him off a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to get technical, I shook off a full count fastball to go to a slider in the 8th inning to lose a perfect game, and I walked the guy on a good pitch. But what do I remember about that day? Again, when you're in that mode, it happens for everybody. They call it dial a pitch, or you're not even thinking. Whatever sign's put down, it's over the plate, and they happen to hit them at people really that day, and that's what it takes. A lot of luck, and just feeling good that day, and I happened to run into a hot day.
Now, things were a little bit different back in 1995. You couldn't follow players on the internet in the minors very easily. You were drafted in the 21st round by the Rangers, and you went on to a 5, 6, 7, 8 year professional career. Talk about that and give us an overview of
well, just
your
to clarify
career.
that was the first round in the 20s, so I want to make sure everybody knows that. All right, but from there I got a chance to play minor league baseball, and did that for a few years. Had a couple injuries. Blew out an Achilles one year. From next year I had Tommy John, and within 3 years or 2.5 years I had to learn how to throw and walk again, or walk and throw the baseball, and so it took a toll. And eventually my time came to kind of move on, and I had a couple stints in Taiwan, short stints. Different experience. Did that, as well as then I just started getting into the coaching side, as well as the individual instruction, whatever I could, probably to stay in the game. And it was just at the time it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of success doing it.
Now, how did your time, I mean, you've kind of touched on this a little bit, but if you can put it in different words, how did your time here at Fullerton prepare you for those professional seasons? Because obviously the professional game's way different than the college game.
Just the overall preparation week in and week out, right? It comes down to each and every day, not taking days off. Being ready to go mentally and physically, having to compete each day at practice, in conditioning, especially in the games. So I mean, there was no time to, look around and feel sorry for yourself. And again, that competitiveness, again, at the next level in professional baseball, you're playing for your career. It's your livelihood, just like it is here. You're playing to stay on the field. But eventually, for everybody, time comes, and just had to move on.
When did that idea pop into your head to become a coach? Because as I remember you as a player, you didn't seem much like a coach. You were a player.
Again, you go back to your relationships you build and the respect you gain from other people in the game. Coach Horton gave me the opportunity in 2005, I believe, asked me if I'd be his volunteer pitching coach. And, at the time thinking, what does that mean? So it started with him offering me the job and me accepting, and feeling at the time very privileged and blessed to be able to come back and be a part of what he had created here. And it's sort of taken off from there.
Talk about your role on Darren Erstad's coaching staff at Nebraska. Are you focused just on the pitching, or do you play a part in the recruiting aspects as well?
Well, right now I'm the head, I'm in charge of our recruiting. So I'm definitely out on the road quite a bit, and along with being the pitching coach. So I definitely spearhead our efforts in the recruiting side. But again, there's along with Coach Erstad, along with Coach Bolt, we're out there as a three-headed monster, just like every other staff, and we're just beating the bushes and trying to find players.
You're kind of a player's pitching coach, and having been through the same grind as the players have, does that help you in relating to them at all? or is the game so different now that it doesn't really matter and it's kind of its own
Well,
deal?
well, that was a nice comment. I'm not sure if you poll our staff if they say I'm a player's pitching coach, but it sounds nice. You know, again, all I know is this way here, Fullerton way, and I just, you know, you kind of make your own out of it. And whether I'm a player's pitching coach or a coach's pitching coach, you know, my beliefs are my beliefs, and it's going to be my way. And so you just hope over time it plays out and we have success.
You made stops with Fresno State, Irvine, LMU, and Fullerton, and now you're in the Midwest. Is there a different way you pitch to hitters in different parts of the country, or is it all the same?
No, my beliefs are still the same. You know, whether it was here on the beach or out in the cornfields, it's still going to be based off of fundamentals, right? Strike one and all the basics and same philosophies no matter where you are. Baseball is the same, whether, like I said, you're out here in Southern California or in the Midwest, it's still baseball. So my beliefs are definitely the same, and you know, most likely won't change just because my body has moved from the beach to the cornfields.
And you definitely have years and experience now under your belt. Do you have aspirations of running your own program someday?
You know, I don't get caught up into that. That's not my number one goal. That's not what I'm looking ahead to. You know, for everybody, if it happens, it happens. There really is no timetable or crystal ball that says, geez, I should be a head coach one day. And if it happens, like I said, it happens. But right now, it's about making sure the Huskers get back on top, but get back to the postseason, and we got to get back in our winning ways.
And before we let you go, you already touched on this a little bit, but I want you to take us back. I want you to let us relive this moment, and I want you to call it like you remember it. Relive that one hit that you had. You're 1 for 1 in your Titan career with 2 RBI.
Pretty proud of it too, by the way. My one hit, it came at UNLV. I believe it either my freshman or sophomore year.
Your freshman year.
My freshman year. Came in late in the game. Our catcher at the time got hurt. Took a foul ball probably off his hand. Our DH at the time was our backup catcher. So of course he had to go into catch. And of course I had to find batting gloves, a helmet, and a bat. You know, be pointed towards the batter's box. I came up, bases loaded, late in the game. First pitch slider I spit on, of course. You know, I was sitting fastball. And again, I'm sitting 1-0, thinking I'm going to get a fastball and I'm going to swing no matter where it is. And sure enough, it was a 1,000 hopper right up the middle, 2 RBIs, Titans win. I mean, storybook ending, right? That's how we draw it up.
Beautiful. All right, that'll do it. Our thanks to Titan alumni Ted Silva for coming back and sitting down with us. It was great catching up with you, Ted.
Thanks a lot.